Hi, sixth grade. This is Miss Han here, and I'm here to, Mr. Bowden has allowed me to come and share with you guys some ways to represent numbers and work with numbers using diagrams and really base 10 blocks. Even though we're not at school, we don't physically have the base 10 blocks to work with, we actually can do a computer version of them. So I'm going to walk you through that. So to start with, first of all, I'd like you to prepare your screen. Well, you could watch this first, but when you're going to do it for yourself, there's a few things you want to make sure you have set up so that you have as much space on your screen as possible. First of all, if you, let's see, you might have a default mode like this, where the screen looks like this, and we want to save space. So we don't need, because when we do this problem here, there's like, we don't have enough space. We want to fit everything. And so this ruler, go to view and unclick it. So the ruler goes away. This speaker notes section, we don't need that. So go to view and unclick that. So that goes away. So now you have a little bit more space. If your computer screen is too small, you could go to zoom and you could also make it smaller like this, but that might be a little too small. So usually the fit is a good one to press. So once you have everything clear, the last thing you could do is a trick that always works is to press F11 if you want. You know how I have so many other things here? If you want to just make this slide big, you can press F11 on your keyboard. And there we go. So now there's nothing else distracting me. I'm just focused on this sheet. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is very simple. We're going to just learn how to use these diagrams to represent decimal numbers. We're just basically drawing pictures of numbers, okay, or showing the numbers as pictures. There are keys over here on the left side. It kind of like gives you a guide. The most basic piece is the yellow one. It's a ones tile. And so it just represents one. It could be $1, one cookie, one square. It's a one, okay? I could put 10 of those in a row and make a really long yellow stick. But if 10 of those in a row also just bundle it up, group it up together as a package and call it a 10. So I don't have to count 10 of them. I could just put 10 of them together and that's a 10. So that's a 10 in the blue. The ones is yellow. Tenths over here with a TH, that's if I broke up the yellow square into 10 little slices, then one of those will be 1/10. And then 100th is the orange guy. If I broke up the 10th into 10 little pieces, one of those would be 100th. Okay, so the number that you see in common here is 10. If I had 10 of those little orange guys, I would get a green. I could bundle it into a green. And if I had 10 of the green guys, the 10th, I could bundle it into a 1, the same thing. And if I had 10 of those yellow ones, then I could make a 10. It's kind of like when you go to the store, if you give them a $10 bill, they might give you 9 ones back. It's the same thing. Or if you give them $1 bill, they could technically give you 4 quarters back or 100 pennies back or 10 dimes back. It's the same thing, okay? So it's kind of bundling up the numbers together. So that's just kind of an overview. And just, and you could watch Mr. Bowden's video if you want to remember what number is in what place and what each place represents. We're going to walk through it anyway here. I'm not going to explain it from scratch, but if you want to, we're just going to go through the problems, okay? So the first question here is just simple. Move over the blocks from the right to represent 13. 13. 1, 3. And so 13 here, when there's no decimal point, then there's you could imagine there's an invisible decimal point at the end of that number. So really, it's a 1 and a 3. And so the 3 is in the ones place, and the 1 is in the tens place. So if I look at the tens place, how many tens do I need? I need 1. If I look at the ones place, how many ones do I need? I need 3 of them. So I'm going to go drag it, press it, click on it, and drag it over and release. Again, I need another one. Click on it, but hold the click, drag it over and release. And again, drag it over and release. So now I have 1 of the tens, and I have 3 of the ones. And so that's how I represent 13. if you think about it, I could break this blue up into 10 pieces of yellow boxes, and then I would have 13 in total. But then it just makes it hard to count. So why not just keep it bundled as a whole 10, right? So that's how I make 13. Pretty easy, right? The next one is asking us to make 45. And again, this, sorry, that wasn't supposed to be there. So if you see the number 45, but there's no decimal, you can assume that the decimal goes here. No, goes here at the end, right? At the right, on the right side. So to make 45, you might already know how to make 45, but if we really were to break it down, what place is this? The tens place. The tens are the blue ones, so I need 4 of them. 10, another 10, another 10, and another 10. There's 4 tens. In other words, there's 10, 20, 30, 40. Now, what place is this? This is the ones place. The ones are the yellow guys, so I need 5 of the yellow guys. Here's 1. Here's another 1. Here's another 1. And another 1. And another 1. So I have 5 ones, or I just have 5, okay? So again, I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 45 in total, kind of like money, okay? It's like $10 bills, right? Or $1 bills. Okay, easy peasy. Oh, what is that? So this number, this time we have a decimal point, right? And so how do we read this number? So it's 63, okay? The dot is actually, so I know we could, sometimes just are kind of lazy and we just say 63.1, but technically as mathematicians, we shouldn't just say 63.1, we should really be precise and say 63 and 1/10, because that's in the 10th place. Okay, so 63 and 1/10. So let's start from the number on the left. Tens place, how many tens do I need? 6. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Next, that's the what place is that? That's right, the ones place. We need 3 of those ones. So I'm going to grab the ones. 1, 2, 3. And I need 1 of those guys. What place is that? That is the 10th place. So I need 1 of the 10ths. Which one is the 10th again? The green one. The green one is a 10th. I just need 1 of them. So in total, I have 6 of the 10s. So that's 60. I have 3 of the 1s. So that's 3, 63. And I also have 1/10 left over. So it's like I have 63 and 1/10. And that's how you read the number. Oh, okay. So look carefully at this number, and the next number is very similar. What's the difference between the 63 and 1/10? What's different in the next one? You're right. There's an extra number there, a 4. Now, what place is that 4 in? It's in the 100ths place. So it's really 6 of the 10s, 3 of the 1s, 1 of the 10ths, and 4 of the 100ths. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're still gonna get the 6 guys, and technically, I'm gonna show you a shortcut. If you press Control and click, you could click on multiple ones. So hold on the Control button and click 2, 3, 4, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could drag them all at once. Wow. So that's 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 63. Oops, 63. And then this is the 10th place. Maybe one of those. And this is the 100th place. So I need 4 of you guys. 1, 2, 3. Oops, this is gonna get messy. 1 of the 100th, 2 of the 100th, 3 of the 100th, 4 of the 100th. So now there's 4 of the 100th. So you would think that So this is our final answer. You would think that the way to read the number is 6 tens and 3 ones, but in English we call it 63. If you were speaking Chinese, the way to say 63 is literally 6 10 3 1. That's how you say 63. It makes sense to me. Anyhow, 63. Now we could technically, I suppose, say 1/10 and 4/100, but that's not how we say it in English. So what we do is we look at the last place. The last place value that's used is the hundredths place. And so we're gonna actually call this 14 hundredths. If you think about why that is, think about this green guy. I could technically break up the green guy into, I could unbundle them. And if I unbundled him, what would I get? If I unbundled him or unwrapped him or broke them up into little pieces, they would actually make 10 little orange guys. So imagine if I traded in this guy, okay, kind of like getting change at the store, traded in this guy for 10 of these guys. Okay, I know they're not spaced out yet, like in the same way, but imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That, if I put them all next to each other closely, would be the same as one of these. I mean, I could technically show you, like if I were to put them all right next to each other, but they kind of like cover each other. Anyway, you get me, right? So if one of these is the same as 10 of these, I could technically take out the green one, right? Oof. Technically, I could have, my goodness, I could take out the green and trade it. It's not trying to participate. It's not trying to cooperate, guys. Come over here. And I don't want you. Okay. Technically, I could move over all of these. I took out one of the greens, and instead I put in 10 of those. And so now how many of those orange ones do I have? 14. And what is their value? What size are they? Hundredths. So I have 14 hundredths. 63 and 14 hundredths. So these 4 problems are just helped us learn how to use diagrams to represent decimal numbers. Thanks for watching.